Welcome back. This is still the Polity reaching you live from Abuja. I am Amadine Ogbewe. I'm joined in the studio now by policy analyst concerned Nigerian, talking about Mr. Samuel Danjuma, to speak on some issues bordering on the state of the nations. There have been a number of issues causing either controversy or conversation, and he's here to do some justice and shed some insight on these issues. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my
brother. Good to have you. All right, so let's begin with the issue that is causing a whole lot of ruckus at the moment. It was revealed that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, took the trip to the COP28 currently at Dubai, United Arab Emirates, with over 1,000 delegates, so to speak. And Nigerians have been, perusing the list and wondering why certain names are there and so on and so forth. I'd like to get your own point of view. What do you make of the president's bulky list?
The early hours of this morning, I was going through my phone on the net, and I saw a list of countries who had more delegations. I think Germany, China. China went to about 3,000 something delegates. Dubai itself, that was hosting the event, and the rest of them. Then before you come to Nigeria, I think Germany too. Now, I think the problem is most times Nigerians don't concentrate more on what will be of beneficial importance to the nation, but just on criticizing the president at all costs, just wanting to make sure that the president is painted in a bad light. And this is not the best thing for us. I've told everybody, and everyone who was close to me, who has been following me on social media, knew immediately after the election, that very day the president was declared, I made a post, and I said to all those that have offended in the course of those campaigns, because I was of the PDP and of the Atiku stock then, I'm sorry, elections are over, and everybody who offended me, I forgive you also. We have a president now. If truly we want the best for everyone, it's time to come together, share our swords, and work with the president to see a better Nigeria. Most times I ask Nigerians, do you really want good governance? Or you just want your brother, your friend, the person you believe to be your messiah just to be there as the president or as the leader of the nation, or the leader of your state? Because most times when you see the criticism, there are no criticism. Was the president in Dubai for the betterment of Nigeria? Yes. Is he carrying out that assignment? Yes. So why are we criticizing him? To me, it's unnecessary.
You don't think the spending is exorbitant?
See, democracy is expensive everywhere in the world. It is expensive. I just told you, Dubai itself, who is hosting the event, we might say, okay, because it's their country, but they went to that many thousand, over 3,000 something, about 3,400 something delegates. China did the same thing. And Nigeria went to 1,100 or so. So, were those people supposed to be in Dubai? Has anybody know how they were financed to get to Dubai? Nobody has yet. So why don't we even know and see the benefit of their trip to Dubai than instead of criticizing the president at every instance we have the opportunity to? I think all the president needs now is to give him all the support we need. At least give him the evidence of doubt, and let's see how he's going to captain the ship of this nation to a better Nigeria, which we all anticipate are waiting to see. So it's not time to criticize the president at every instance. No.
But don't you think some criticism will help? I see this because we've seen different persons either affiliated to the government or part of the government across two administrations now come out and tell Nigerians, let us cut our quota according to our size, let us manage. The president himself has said that he feels the pain of Nigerians, but that we must sacrifice. So what do you make of the optics when someone takes a look at the list and they see that the designation of one of the persons or some of the persons is confidant to the president, and they are wondering, did this person need to be there? I'm just trying to get the numbers now for what some persons have said is the average to take one person from Nigeria all the way there and all the payments. It goes into thousands of dollars, and when you multiply by 8,800, which the government actually pays for, because I don't believe the government pays for the entire 1,000 plus persons, is running into a lot of numbers. So people are wondering, is the government taking into account the state of the nation, in the state of our affairs, the amount? Because every day government tells us that they met a dire situation, there's no money, we're in debt, this and that. So do you think it would have been out of place for the president to go with only completely essential personnel and then, just make his case and return?
No. The beauty of this kind of journey trips are this. There are lots of sidelines, a lot of business opportunities on the sidelines, where these people being on the president's entourage will give them the opportunity. You know, we have a bilateral issue with Dubai when it comes to issuing of visa and the rest of them. This is an opportunity for some business tycoons to have the opportunity to interact with other of their colleagues on the other part of the world. So to me, it's not a bad idea. Like you said, not everybody on that trip was the trip paid for by the government. But the truth is, it's an opportunity for them, with the president's presence, to give them the opportunity to go out there and interact with their colleagues on the other part of the world, like I said earlier. And with this, it's going to bring in direct foreign investment into the country. So we should look at the importance of those trips, not just because of the cost of. I will put it to you that those who are criticizing the president now because of this trip, if it was their messiah that went on this trip, they'll tell you, yes, he's doing it for the betterment of Nigeria. So we should stop being sentimental, we should stop being emotional when it comes to governance. The president's trip was necessary. Those on that trip are not, I don't think there's anybody that will tell me that those on that trip are jobless people who don't have anything to do. They're captains of industries and people who are entrepreneurs and the rest of them, who are using this opportunity to interact, so that we'll be able to, like I said earlier, bring indirect foreign investment into the country and partner with other parts of the world. But don't you
think the government at any point should consider cutting down on governance costs?
Cutting down
just for the sake of, just to make it as though it is not just the average citizen whose subsidy has been collected, who's has to deal with exchange rates increasing, that on the other hand, the political elites are also feeling the brunt, where they also have to cut down. Does it mean that ideally we would have seen 3,000 delegates? Is 1,000 plus delegates a cut down? Why can't we begin to see the government also making sacrifices?
Now, when you talk about sacrifices, the government is making sacrifices also. I listened to Jimo Ibrahim before the president was sworn in. He was on a live station and he was making analysis of the incoming and expectation and preparing our minds on what to expect when the government comes in. And he was talking about how to get out of debt. And he said for us to get out of debt is to borrow more money. What are we going to do with the money we borrow? We use the money we borrow to service the debts, whereby we are free. We have a long time to pay those debts. Then we use what is left to invest. And by so doing, we create employment and we get out of this. I'm just paraphrasing on the so most of these trips, the president is doing what he needs to do. I just told you the problem with Nigeria is that we are too sentimental, we are too emotional when it comes to having somebody. Everybody knows that most of Nigerians of the other stock feels that he's not supposed to be the president. So for every move he makes, even if he's doing the right thing, I'm one person that is so happy that subsidy is gone. Yes, subsidy would have been gone since 2012. They fought it. Now I'm happy that the same set of people who felt it shouldn't go then have seen reasons why it must go. And certainly there are lots of improvements. There are a lot of innovations and a lot of government is putting a lot of policies in place to make sure that this doesn't last forever. But at the interim, we need to feel the pains and feel the brunt. With time, it's a simple economics. When the supply becomes more, demand and supply plays, and automatically we find out that the price is going to fall. Now we have heard that the refineries are going to, let's give this president and this government the evidence of doubt. They just came in May. We are just in December. This is not rocket science. This is not magic. They are not going to do magic. The president is not going to come and just wave his magic stick and everything changes in overnight. No, we have to follow the process. Every country in the world that we celebrate today, that we say are doing well, are doing everything, started from somewhere. Nigerians don't want to. Nigeria wants miracle, and it doesn't work that way. It's not by praying. It's not by
politicians promise miracle, don't you think?
No, politicians don't promise miracle. See,
while campaigning, they make very outrageous.
Politicians tells you what they can do. The question is, are Nigerians ready to allow them do what they should do?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they paint the pictures. What you talk about is not magic or thereabouts. You will never hear politicians say, well, it will be difficult, or they just say, I will make this free, I will do this, and I will do that. So,
to all honesty to President
they tend to have that
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he never told you that when he becomes president, you sleep and you fetch milk on the streets of Nigeria. No, he never said that. He always said it that we're going to sacrifice. But at the end of it, Nigerians are going to be better for it. Nigeria is going to be better for everyone. So let's give him the evidence of doubt. Let this man be able to carry out. we knew what Lagos was before he became president. Governor, sorry. And we know what the revenue that's coming from Lagos is now. The revenue from Lagos is like a state, a country within a country. So why don't we allow this man work? And
what's a reasonable amount of time do you think before people might worry or see changes?
Now, have you seen his policy documents? Yes. Are they, if fully implemented, will they better the lots of this country? Yes. I had Senator Dome saying the other day that president is one person that will tell you, if I'm not doing right, tell me. If you don't tell me and I find out, I'm going to hold you responsible for it. We knew the issue between him and his son when he spoke to his son point blank and told him, you have no business being in Federal Executive Council meeting. We have a lot of presidents that former President Buhari is coming out to say now that he felt that he had a lot of people around, but he did not know that most of them were not even, they didn't even believe in his policies and his plans and programs for the country. So this is the president that takes charge. This is the president that's in charge of his government. Buhari was not in charge of his government, but this president is in charge of the government, and we know what he does. If you don't deliver within time, he's going to hack you off and bring in somebody that's going to deliver. So let's give this man an evidence of doubt so that he'll be able to run this government effectively and make Nigeria better for it at the end of it all. So let's give him, like I said, an evidence of doubt. We should not just criticize. Yes, criticism is good, but not every criticism, not at every instance. Constructive criticism, I would have appreciated that. If they find out what are these people doing in Dubai, was it necessary for them to be in Dubai, it's better. There are other things we should think about, not just at every move, the president did this, the president did that. I remember President Olusegun Obasanjo just said one time that I think Nigerians should put his picture on their wall, and when they wake up in the morning, they should just go and start hitting the picture, because your wife doesn't take in, you say it's President Obasanjo, you don't do this, you say it's President Obasanjo. So we should stop blaming our leaders.
But I think the president also understands that it comes with the job, don't you think?
Yes, he knows it comes with the job, no doubt about that. But like I said, we should give them an evidence of doubt. Now, if I go to the market today and I want to buy a pair of shoe, and you tell me that shoe is made in Nigeria, for the fact that shoe is made in Nigeria, I will buy it. And why am I doing that? It's simple. The Spanish and the, what do you call them, Italian shoes we buy. If the Italians did not believe in their manufacturers, those shoes would have, those companies would have not grown. Nigerians don't believe in Nigeria. Now, I would have been happy to hear where they were criticizing and say that instead of buying those Toyota vehicles for the National Assembly, they would have patronized Innocent Motor. That's beautiful. That's the kind of constructive criticism I want to hear. Not at every instance, everything. Government is not child's play. It takes a lot of money. So we shouldn't just sit down at the back of our keypads and just be pressing because we feel, they say he who wears the shoes understand better. Maybe because I've gotten close to the seat of power and I've been able to see how things work, or seen policies, documents, and the rest of them. Maybe that's why I have a change of mind, but we should give him an evidence of doubt. This man means well. Nigeria will be better for it at the end of the day.
Well, you make points there, but I guess at the end of the day, we'll see what becomes of it, like you said, with benefit of doubt and all that. But that being said, in the meantime, Nigeria, like they say, there's a saying, majority will have their way, minority will have their say. So I believe that's what we're seeing here. Yes. So let's quickly move to the budget. I'll just quickly reel out some numbers. We still don't have very clear picture of exactly what the project entails. We saw a lawmaker the other day complaining that they didn't get to see the detailed version, but I believe all those will come. Let's reel out what we do know. For education sector, is getting 7.9% of the budget. Health sector 5%, infrastructure 5%, social development, poverty reduction 2%, defense and security sector gets 12%. These are all in the trillions of naira. So I'd like to get your thoughts as to expectations for this budget. What do you think Nigerians can begin to look forward to, and what do you believe the spread makes sense, the way they look at it?
With all honesty, I think for the first time we're getting it right in a way. The indices are there. I think what we should be looking out for is now to begin to question and call our representatives in both chambers to order and tell them that they should carry out their oversight function, which is actually why they are there, and make sure that these funds are released at when due. Because there's a difference. There's one thing Nigerians don't understand. Over the years, for instance, 10 billion was budgeted for a project. You find out that 2 or 3 billion was released, and Nigerians expect that what that 10 billion was supposed to do would have been done without even finding out if actually the funds were actually released. So we should talk to our representatives to make sure that this budget is passed as at when due, and they should carry out their oversight functions and be able to come out and tell us when the funds are released and when the funds are not released and what has been released and what. But I think, and I don't think we have ever had 100% budget implementation anytime in this country. So I think we should look forward to seeing that things are going to be done differently this time. From his body language, since that's what we always look about, he doesn't look like somebody that is not in charge. He is actually in charge of his government, and I know he knows the pain and the suffering of Nigeria, and Nigerians are going to be better. Are going to be happy by the time this budget gets into they begin to implement this budget, and it's going to be like I said earlier, the spreads, we've not had it this way before. It used to be like 40% security and the rest of them. So this also shows that I think the fight against insecurity under this government is having is getting the needed attention. It's getting, that means it's reduced. There's a lot of reduction in insecurity and the rest of them. So I still maintain what I said earlier. Let's give the president an evidence of doubt. The budget is even working with now was not the budget that he prepared, and we've been able to see a lot of changes. I just came back from Kogi this afternoon, and the roads are a lot of works are going on the roads and the rest of them. So, like, let's give them an evidence of doubt, and I know Nigeria will be better for it. That I know.
All right. That being said, this budget, is meant to achieve a number of things, but there's been some sort of, would I say, narrative as to trying to do this without debt or so much debt. We spoke about Mr. Jimo before. But how do you think Nigeria can begin to navigate that? A lot of the budget goes to debt servicing and so much. It's quite a lot when you think about it. So, how do you think this should be approached?
As a business person, borrowing for project is not bad. It's good, but what we just want is to be sure that if this money was borrowed for project A, it should be used for project A. Not the money was borrowed for project A and it was used for something else. In the past administration, we saw what happened. A lot of money were borrowed for projects that we can't pinpoint the projects that those funds were borrowed for. And that's why we are where we are now. So what we should do now is, it still boils back to our representatives in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. We should talk to them to carry out their functions and carrying out their functions effectively, not by carrying out their functions and be at the process. Many times, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has come out to tell us that the National Assembly is very, very corrupt, and they have not been able to defend that and all that. So it's time for them to do what you actually voted for. Carry out your oversight function. Make sure that the funds that were borrowed for a particular project, that project was actually done. If that is, if you do that, at the end of the day, paying those debts will not be an issue. Because if you borrow debts, if you borrow money, for instance, to let's say put a rail sector in order or build roads, you can tow those roads, and from there you're going to get this money back to service the debts at the end of the day. Now, if I get a very good road from here all the way to my place with double lanes and street lights everywhere, and you ask me to pay toll, Nigerians will find it difficult to do. And we've heard that there's going to be a lot of taxation because most of the money to finance this budget is going to come from tax also. So a lot of it's going to widen up the tax net, and with all this, sure, certainly, it's not going to be business as usual. Nigeria is going to actually have a leap from where we are. So paying back this debt is as good as making sure that those funds are used for those projects that those funds were borrowed for. They will pay back the debts themselves.
Right. I believe that's fair enough. Looking at what the government hopes to achieve, but you've mentioned National Assembly, House of Reps, and Senate. I just want to get your thoughts on an issue. Recently, there's been much ado about when the president presented the budget, and that his, would I call it his signature song or his anthem during the campaigns, the mandate song, was basically played to usher him in and usher him out, with some of the lawmakers singing along and so on. So people have been expressing worry and concern that this means that the institution is not strong. We can't expect these lawmakers to be able to perform oversight on someone they seem to revere so much, with away from just the title of being president and more of a partisan nature. Do you think there's any case there?
At the beginning of this program, I talked about we being sentimental. It's normal. We have more of the APC in the National Assembly, and it is normal for them to sing their song for the leader of their party and the president of the nation. It's normal. It doesn't stop them from doing what they are supposed to do. I've not seen where this National Assembly has not been able to carry out their functions, but all we want them to do is to do more. By singing the song doesn't change the fact that when it's time to ask questions, they won't ask questions. They will ask questions. Most times we should copy from other clans of the world. There's nowhere you don't see. You can't tell me now that the Republican president will be coming in and the Republicans doesn't have what they say to themselves. They have their language and the rest of them. That shouldn't be our problem.
But those are more national. This was sort of a party song being replaced.
I think we all know that On Your Mandate I Stand is not the national anthem of the APC.
It was this campaign song.
It was a song that someone who was in love with the president came up with, and it went viral. So it's not supposed to be a See, let's be factual. Let's be serious this time around. Let's be determined. Let's know what we are. We should set targets for this president.
So you believe the National Assembly can't do that job when it comes
to
will
do their job. They will do their job. We should also know that most of the members of this National Assembly are newcomers. They are not even most of them did not return back. And so certainly there's this eagerness for them to see that Nigeria and this, because they know they don't want their government, their president to fail and this government to fail. So certainly they are going to put in all the best, all they know what to do and get this country on its right foot.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Danjuma. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we'll take on the program for today. Don't forget, the Polity reaches you live from Abuja every weekday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Do join us tomorrow once again, where we delve into that fine intersection of politics, governance, and the state of the nation. See you tomorrow. I'm Amadine Ugbewe. Bye for now.